Pressure. That's what the Olympics are. Athletes practice day and night to make it to the podium, their eyes set on gold. But what happens if all their blood, sweat, and tears are cut short by a magnanimous mistake? Here are the top 10 biggest mistakes of the Olympic Games. Derek Redmond, 1992. Barcelona Olympic. It's the 1992 Barcelona Olympics, the electrifying buzz of the 400-meter semifinal. British hope Derek Redmond launched himself out of the blocks, eyes full of dreams of medals and glory. The crowd erupted as he built a commanding lead. Competitors left choking on his dust when tragedy struck. A searing pain ripped through his hamstring, bringing him crashing to the track. But more than anything in that silent stadium lay his sense of failure, the weight of shattered dreams. But from among the forlorn crowd emerged one figure, defiant, a shape struggling for entrance through security. It was Derek's father, Jim, concern etched on his face. He managed to squeeze himself through the security lines, breaking every barrier. They wept as they took each other onto the track. The finish line was not about the medal, but the support of a father for his son. Derek and Jim limped past the finish together. Nastya Lukin, 2012 U.S. Olympic trials. Uneven bars. All eyes are glued to Nastya Lukin, Beijing's golden girl. London locked. No? But the unimaginable does happen. Lukin loses her grip and lets out a little yelp as she falls toward the mat. It's like a slow-motion nightmare. Arms totally spread eagle, bars out of reach, and then, sickeningly enough, the thud. Lukin meets the mat face first. And then the crowd goes from electric to dead silent. This isn't a stumble. This is a full-on Olympics goodbye kind of fail. You could almost see her dreams of a gold medal slip away into the lights. Paula Radcliffe Athens, 2004. The women's marathon, there was supposed to be no contest. World record holder Paula Radcliffe was supposed to be a shoo-in for the gold. Months of bone-crushing training, years of dedication, all coming down to this day. But the unforgiving Athenian sun had other things in mind. Radcliffe, known for her superhuman endurance, started to unravel at the 23-mile mark. Gone was the smooth, powerful stride that had become her trademark, replaced by labored breaths and a face contorted in pain. This wasn't just a bad day at the office. It was an epic Olympic meltdown in the making. And then, the unimaginable. Radcliffe, the woman with an engine that seemed to run on willpower, just slowed to a stop. Tears streamed down her face as she slumped onto the curb. The once jubilant roar of the crowd replaced by a stunned silence. Mary Decker and Zola Budd, Los Angeles, 1984. In the charged electric atmosphere, crackling with anticipation of the first ever women's 3000 M final, American darling Mary Decker, a medal seemingly preordained, shot to the front. But hot on her heels was Zola Budd, the young South African running under the flag of Great Britain and the shadow of apartheid. In a surge of ambition, Budd made a reckless move to pass Decker, but with nowhere to go, the gamble exploded. Bodies collided, limbs flailed, a slow-motion nightmare. Both went down hard, their Olympic dreams dissolving into the dust of the track. A sobbing Decker, helped to the finish, instantly became an icon of American heartbreak. Budd was vilified by the U.S. media. Thomas Hamilton Brown, 1936. Berlin Olympics. South African boxer Thomas Hamilton Brown entered the ring for his lightweight bout. The crowd jeered as he put up a tough fight against Carlos Lillo of Chile. But when it came down to the numbers, the judges raised Lillo's hand in what was considered by many to be a very controversial decision. Despondent, Hamilton Brown did what many of us might do after a tough loss. He went on a massive eating spree. Maybe it was frustration, perhaps just nerves. But whatever the reason, the next day, the scales had a whole new tale to tell. Hamilton Brown, now 5 pounds heavier, had indulged a little too much in the celebratory or commiserative treats. Then, there was the reversal of the decision by the judges, awarding the win to Hamilton Brown. Milkha Singh, Rome, 1960. Milkha Singh, the Flying Sikh, was India's golden hope in the 1960 Rome Olympics. The 400-meter final was supposed to be his victory lap, a chance to cement his place in sporting history. And for most of the race, it looked that way. Singh bolted out of the blocks, leaving the other runners gasping in his dust. Singh went further. Overconfident in his win, he started celebrating a little too early. Fist pumps, a triumphant grin, all before he crossed the finish line. The problem? This wasn't Usain Bolt in 2008, effortlessly coasting to victory. This was an open race, with Singh's competitors far from finished. Banjung Il Sul, 1988. This 19-year-old boxer was in the ring, Olympic dreams dancing in his head, when things went south. He got headstrong, literally, and gave his opponent a big headbutt. Disqualification City. A normal athlete would grumble, perhaps throw in the towel and head to the locker room. Not Byun Jung-il. This guy just sat there adamantly as he staged a one-man protest not even a toddler would be proud of. Time wore on, the crowd got agitated, but Byun stuck to his guns. They even turned the lights off in the arena. But even in the dark, Byun remained, a lone figure fuming in the background. It really was quite the display of, let's just say, sportsmanship was nowhere to be found. Angel Matos, Beijing, 2008. Angel Matos, a rising star with a flash of Olympic success in 2000 behind him, was in the midst of a tightly contested bronze medal match. Then, disaster struck. He went down, holding his leg, perhaps an injury. So there he was, getting attention from the medics, and the clock was ticking. Rules are rules. There's a limit to the duration of the bout that can be taken up. The referee made the call. Matos was disqualified. By now, most athletes would argue, maybe even sulk a bit. But not Matos. He went full-on WWE villain. In a move that left everybody speechless and the referee somewhat battered, Matos unleashed a flying roundhouse kick to the official's face. Let's just say it wasn't his proudest hour. The humorless World Taekwondo Federation certainly wasn't laughing. Matos earned himself a lifetime ban. This wasn't some botched kick, some missed point. It was an act of pure rage that in a blink wrecked a career. Wim Sages, Rome, 1960. Wim Sages was the man who almost became the first ever Olympian from Suriname. He had an epic fail that just plays into the folklore of that country. Rome, 1960. The 800-meter race was Sages' golden ticket to sporting history. Meanwhile, someone, an official in charge, gave him bad intel. They claimed his heat was in the afternoon, so he had just about all day to cool off and relax. He relaxed too much. Because when Sages arrived at the stadium, all smiles and prepared to run, his race had already finished. As it turned out, he was way off schedule. Sages, totally oblivious and in repose, had missed his chance at Olympic glory. It marked the beginning of the tragic story that caused Sages to be named Schoen Slaper, Sleeping Beauty. Jesse Owens, Berlin, 1936. The 1936 Berlin Olympics were actually slated to exhibit Aryan supremacy, staged by Adolf Hitler and the Nazis. But, thanks to the fabulous performance, particularly by African-American athlete Jesse Owens, it turned into a monumental fail for them. Rather than racist expectations, Owens mystically swept running and field events, obtaining 4 gold medals in the 100 meters, 200 meters, long jump, and 4 100 meters relay. His victories echoed far beyond the podium. In fact, they turned into a heartbreaking epitaph for greatness on the running track and benevolence towards humankind. Hitler's new Aryan ideology of an Olympic edifice was shattered by Owens smashing his propaganda. Counterpoised to the Nazi ideology was the image of a black man standing on the top step of the podium, the gold medal gleaming around his neck. That's a wrap for the biggest mistakes in the Olympics, whether it was on the athlete or the organization. Lots of funny things happen, but the Jesse Owens win takes the cake. If you like these Olympic mistakes, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn notifications on for more videos.